Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone back and everyone that is joining us. This is a continuation from a workshop meeting. We do have item 1. We do have the presence of a quorum. This meeting has been duly posted on August 26th at 5:30 p.m. in accordance with the district of the agenda below. This meeting, all board members are present. We have board member Houston, board member Dr. Lalonde, board member Friedman, board member Starkey, and board member Avalos, all present in the boardroom at this time. If we may please ask for item 3, invitation to the audience for public comments. Board staff, anyone else like to acknowledge, like to address, discuss anything in public forum? Is there anyone on Zoom? At this time? Okay. Then let's move along to item 4, the public hearing on the proposed ad valorem tax rate for the fiscal year 2020 through 2021.
Question that should we ask, like, anybody have any comments on
Yeah,
that?
I think you open the hearing, and then if there's anyone here to talk about it,
Ask questions.
they can speak now, and then if there's nobody, then we can close the hearing.
Correct. And at this time, is there anyone that wants to discuss anything about the proposed ad valorem tax rate? Any questions about the ad valorem tax rate? Do we need to state the rate for the record?
What's the rate?
The rate has been
0.0.
disclosed at 0.039918.
I'm making a motion to approve.
Public hearing? Yes. Motion was made by Mr. Houston,
Second.
seconded by Dr. Lalonde. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
We are. All in favor. Motion does carry. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the full record? Okay.
Are we on item 5?
No, we're on item 4. We're going to do a roll call for each board member.
I think we vote on item 5.
Well, 4 was supplementary. 5 is.
So do you want the roll call for item 4 or item 5? Item 5, okay. Item 5, consider and discuss for possible approval of a resolution to adopt the ad valorem tax rate 0.039918 for fiscal year 2020 through 2021. Resolution number 180-08-20. Motion was made by Mr. Houston and seconded by Dr. Lalonde. Are all of those in favor?
Aye. So it's a
They are.
roll
So
call.
then we'll take a roll call vote at this moment. Mr. Houston is in favor.
Aye.
Dr. Lalonde is in favor. Board member Friedman is in favor.
Board member Starkey is in favor.
Board member Starkey is in favor.
Aye.
And board member Avalos is in favor. All are in favor. Motion passes. Move on to item 6. Consider and discuss for possible approval the minutes of the workshop meeting and the regular meeting from August 12, 2020. Made by Mr. Avalos, seconded by Mr. Houston. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7, general manager's report. Carlos?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I have a report there in front of you that says as of 8/18/2020, COVID-19 information on the employees, that on the 8/18/2020, we had 40 tested, and then out of those, 22 were negative. And we're looking at the gray line only. 10 tested positive, and then 10 recovered out of that. So the protocol that we've been taking and all the measures have been working. And then those that have gotten the positives have turned out to be not that ill, and they've gotten well pretty quick and over the COVID. So we have to keep doing what we're doing, the protocols and distancing, taking our temperatures, washing our hands, and doing our best to be safe anywhere we go. And it's our responsibility. Each one is responsible for their own surrounding. If you see something that's not right, stay away. Move out, but be responsible to take your actions and get out of the way if somebody's around with it.
Still a pretty
So-
big number, though, isn't it?
So the only thing is that families have been affected the last month, quite a few actually. But anyhow, yes, deaths and illnesses.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for right now on that one. The other one that I have is the elections update. I know that we had 7 candidates, and then at the last 30 minutes before the deadline, one of them pulled out. So we have 6 candidates right now. That I think I put the information in the packet where on Monday also they picked the place, where who goes first on the ballot, and we send
Which
the
place is Scott in?
information to the board members.
Place
I think on place 2 we only have Mr. Friedman. Then place 3 we have Herb Houston Jr. on the first ballot, be first, and then second would be William Bill Donahue. Then place 4 would be Gregorio Greg Grease, the first one on the ballot, and then second would be Mr. Alex Avalos, and then the third one would be David Bowder. And that's what I have. Hopefully that all goes well and keep moving forward. The next that I have, let me see here. Okay, we had an incident up at South Padre Island that we had to call in the city manager and the public works and all the personnel with the code enforcers. That there was a water leak between the easements that are taken over. There's a swimming pool on one side, a swimming pool on the other side. So that's the reason we called them in and make sure that we're okay about all that. And I think they had their attorney involved on that one. But anyhow, we pulled down some fencing. Well, he got called for just to make sure that everything was okay. So what we had to do is tear down a fence. We didn't tear it apart, but we took it apart. Then the guys went in with the minor equipment, the excavator, and made a hole about 4 to 5, maybe 6 feet from the bottom of the, bottom of the fence, because there was a fence in there. So eventually they completed the water leak with no problems at all. It was a small leak. But we did have a good talk with the city manager that this was going to happen again, and hopefully that we can work together on the easements. And he said, we don't have that problem. We're not going to have the owners taking over the easement from now on. They changed the ordinance on it. I told them to give me a copy of it so I can have it. So hopefully from now on, they're not going to be taking over the
So
easement.
none of this grandfathered in is what we need to make sure. If
Well,
they build
yes.
on this.
He said
I
that,
know the whole, obviously.
so
it's
the whatever.
grandfathered in, and I've had it for,
Well, they can't go back and change anything.
50 years, whatever the usual story is. I haven't had it for 50 years.
So anyhow, he said he assured us that wasn't going to happen anymore, that they take over the easement when they get the permit to build. So
Please have,
I was happy with
forward
that.
to Brian. Brian needs to look at that. I think that's very important, because this topic, as the island builds more and more and the density fills in, this problem is going to come back more and more often. And everyone has taken advantage of these easements, and they're now becoming their own personal property and not the public easements anymore.
Right.
Is my comment. I don't want to get
And
into
then the other
specifics,
thing is
but
that they're filling
it's
in
been ongoing.
the dirt higher than the regular level, about 6 feet higher,
Yes.
because of the tide table and all that. You have hurricanes and high tides and all, floods, so they're keeping it higher than the
We need to
normal.
make sure to keep Brian involved in that, because this issue is only going to get worse.
Yes, we understand that.
Yeah, I say something concerning this water leak. The only way they got into the property is that there was a vacant lot, 2 lots down there was vacant, and they got that that machine in there, and it was so wet that when they started excavating with a mini excavator, it slid into the other property. It did damage, the property quite a bit because there was a lot of mud and a heavy, mini excavator.
Which becomes our expense, and if
Yes.
that lot was built on, how would you have reached that, taken care of that problem?
There's no way.
That is now our problem, is my comment.
Yeah.
That's all, I don't mean to get.
If it hadn't been for that vacant lot, there was no way
Yes.
we could have gotten in there with the mini excavator. Once they got in there, they had to cut part of the cool deck, about a 2x6 piece of slab. And even then, the guys that were working on it, they were under part of the slab. Because everything was,
That's a safety hazard.
yes, it was.
What's the appropriate easement? I was looking at development property out there, and from what I gathered, looking at survey, it was 5 on either side.
5 on each side, that's correct.
Is that appropriate? Like if you have 10 foot, we can get back there and do a similar,
Yeah, it would be the width of an alley, pretty much.
But there's others that are 8 on each side, which is 16.
Yes, 8 on each side.
On
which
that
is
area. on
About
that
16
special-
feet.
The area that we were at.
Yeah.
It's 16 footer. So we'll keep Brian on the loop on that one, and that's about it on my part.
My thought on that is what we need is, we need something, agreement with the city that either one side or the other of the owners, because there will be a time that comes up that we do not have access. We have to get permission from the owner.
But this also involves the entire district. This isn't a one city issue. This is an entire district issue.
Well, it could be. Haven't seen it in Port Isabel.
No, but stuff can fill in and people
Yes.
building
Oh,
and
yes.
pushing it all the way, far out.
Taking over. They want more land. But we haven't seen it that bad in Port Isabel, nor Laguna Heights, nor Laguna Vista.
I haven't seen it on the mainland. Usually the problem is really on the island.
Laguna Vista's all in front, right?
Some of the waters in the alleys also. The sewer lines are
Old Town Laguna
mostly
Vista's in the alleys, but in the golf course, I think it's all in the
front,
right? All-
right.
Yeah,
The
those
right
flat
of way.
alleys
There's
are,
additional minimum 10 foot there. There's 10 foot utility, then another 10 foot. There's a minimum of 20. In some cases, it's 35.
Because there's like 3 or 4 utilities that go in and
And
out.
Old Town can run into that problem too.
So that's all I have. Is there any other questions? We can.
No, sorry, that's important to know that. That's real.
Number 8.
Okay, moving on to item 8. Consider discuss for possible approval the revised contract with Cameron County Elections Department for the additional early voting polling locations in Laguna Vista and South Padre Island for November 3rd, 2020, general and special election for Laguna Madre Water District.
Yes, again, board members, the problem that they're having is getting the employees to work for them due to the COVID going out everywhere. And that's the main problem, that they're trying to hire the personnel that they need. And they put a number in there. Hopefully it'll be less, but it increased quite a bit, which we need those areas for the early voting. So my recommendation is to move forward and approve that.
On page 1 of the supplement, it still says there's just one early voting station. However, if you go back, the next to last page, it does detail early voting at Laguna Beach and South Padre Island, the dates and time. So all I'm saying is there's conflict in the.
On my page, it says 4. It's supposed to be early election day polling place, and it says 4 election day polling.
Then it says underneath that, the early voting station 1. But what I'm saying is that is in conflict with the next to last page, where it shows the early voting location, the time and the place of the open.
We'll make sure to correct that one. call them up in the morning.
Well, I think there's a deadline on this,
So we're,
On the actual, on this page, I mean, it shows all the locations.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, but on the front. on the
Right, I
first
did
page,
notice on the wording that, yeah, that leaves out actually for this. But it is on the schedule. It's up to date. And that's what we're approving.
Yes.
Let's, when you make the motion, it needs to make sure it's specifically included. Yes. So there was a motion made by Mr. Starkey.
It is an action item.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
second.
Yes, it is, yes.
I'll second.
Motion to approve pending the adjustments brought to your attention by, Ruben.
Motion made by Mr. Starkey, seconded by Mr. Avalos. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None motion carries. Thank you. Let's move along to item 9, a presentation by Grant Access on social media for the district. This item has been tabled. The motion to table. Motion made by Mr. Avalos, seconded by Mr. Starkey. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Item tabled. Item 10, consider and discuss for possible approval, pre-rehabilitation inspection and evaluation for ESD 2 and 3 on South Padre Island and Tank 5 in Laguna Heights, Texas.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanna,
Almost
yeah,
so.
it's,
I'll move to approve.
Motion made for approval by Mr. Avalos, and the second made by Mr. Starkey. Are all those in favor? Are there any opposed? None motion carries. Thank you. Let's move on to item 11. Consider and discuss for possible approval 12-month supply of chemicals for water plant, wastewater plant, collection, and lift station departments.
Chairman, members of the board, this is the RFP for chemicals that we use on a daily basis at the water plant, wastewater plants. So we are recommending to approve the lower bidders. Compared with last year, the increment was 0.45%.
We went up 0.45% in our total cost. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
Motion for approval made by Mr. Avalos. Seconded by Mr. Houston. All those in favor?
Aye.
John, opposed? None motion carries. Thank you. Item 13, consider and discuss for possible approval, group health, life, dental, and vision insurance. Motion made by Mr. Starkey.
Second.
Second by Dr. Lalonde. Are all those in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? None. On item 13.
No, that's
Item 12.
But that's okay.
That is correct. Let's go back and revisit 12, excuse me. Consider and discuss for possible approval the purchase of Lmwd employee uniforms.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Starkey, second by Mr. Alves. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
There are any opposed? None motion carries. Excuse me, let's carry along to 13. Consider and discuss for possible approval group health, life, dental, and vision insurance.
So moved.
Yes?
Could be some information that the board is aware of.
Yeah, I think we need to go through number 13.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, this is what we had the meeting about.
Correct.
We had the insurance consultants here.
Yes, this year, value risk consultant, Mr. Roger Garza, helped with the RFP. So we had a meeting with the insurance committee this morning. I would like- Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Trustees. Thank you so much for your evening. My name is Roger Garza. I am the Senior Consultant for Valley Risk Consulting. This afternoon, or this morning, we had a brief meeting with Mr. Vice Chairman Houston here and members of the administration. And we did a detailed analysis of some of the proposals that we went out. We actually had a lot of interest in the Laguna Madre District, Water District. And we received some proposals, and quite frankly, we're happy to report it. Actually, this is the pleasure that I enjoy delivering, and we had the rate decrease. First time, we don't see that very often. I've been a consultant for quite a number of years, so it's a thrill whenever we come to a client and say, you just had a 13% decrease in your premiums. We solicited proposals, we received them. The carriers will be a little bit different. We're going to have Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've offered to mirror some of the benefits that you currently have, and we've also solicited we obtained 7 different proposals from the dental part of it. And again, they merit the benefits increased them actually, giving them $500 more per employee on the maximum dental benefits. So we're excited about that as well. The committee also heard about the vision plan that you also offer your employees. We had 10 participants under the vision program. And once again, the companies mirrored what you currently had. However, there was a decrease again in the premium. So we've had decreases on your medical, on your dental, and on your vision. So we were very excited about that. And last but not least, we also presented a group term. We had 7 companies offered to provide group term insurance. Once again, we had a 3% decrease in the rates. We're very excited to bring those news to the board. It beats a lot better when you're having increases, but you're having a decrease. So we're very, very happy and delighted to be able to announce that to you this evening. In consideration of that, there was also some other offers that we considered that maybe we might be able to place a flexible spending account for the employees to be able to fund some of their deductibles and co-pays with some of the savings. Almost, I think we estimated over $140,000 in potential savings.
Let's back up just a minute. There were to be shown about $100,000 in savings. And I had posed a question, what do we do with that? Do we just stick it in the bank? Do we do something for the benefit of the employees? I know Mary was concerned about some of the costs of some of the medications. There was a concern that some of the co-pays had gone up. And I think it was, yes. And I think it was Mary that suggested, why don't we offer a health savings account for each of our employees? So as an example, let me just throw this out. We have 70 some odd. We're saving over $100,000 this year. So we start everybody with $1,000 health savings account. Basically, it's a credit card, debit card. They can use that for medicine, for when they go into the emergency room, to pay their co-pays. But it gives them the ability to cover some of these costs and concerns that they have. It doesn't cost us anything this year. Now, if they use it all this in 1 year, it's all gone. If they don't use it all, it doesn't carry over. But it gives them the ability not to be concerned so much about the co-pays, the deductibles, and the rising costs of the meds and whatnot. And I think it would really show our employees that we're really out there batting for them and basically helping them out to the tune of $1,000 for their medical concerns, needs, for the upcoming year. Appropriate. They can use it however they want. Now, they can't go to the liquor store and they can't go buy steaks with it.
Yeah,
but anything medical-wise, they could use.
Yes, the reason we felt that we wanted to do that, the reason we felt we wanted to do that was because in order to save this money on the health plan, we had to increase the deductibles and increase the co-pays would be going up. And so this was a way that we thought, it's worth it for the amount of money that we're going to save, but we can also turn around and put some of that money back towards the employees in the way of a flexible spending account and take care of those concerns, the increase in the deductibles and the co-pays.
I'm all in. Is that how it's written up?
That was the recommendation.
That's the recommendation. That's the action item, the 100,000
from the insurance committee.
Well, what I would do, I'd recommend $1,000 per employee.
$1,000 per employee flexible spending account, in addition to the policies that we outlined, which was the Blue Cross and Blue Shield for health, MetLife for the dental, Unum for the vision, and MetLife for the group term life and AD&D. Yes.
Is there really 100,000 straight up dollars in surplus?
Yes, that is the savings.
How many employees do you have? Exactly.
77 on the health.
77. So,
There's some costs to administer the program also.
And yeah,
so are those costs exceeding? I mean,
No,
no,
hold on a second.
Mhm.
Are those costs exceeding $23,100?
No.
Not even close, are they? So why don't we do $1,200? And then you'll have 77 times 98 or whatever it costs, $7,546 would be for administrative. Could it be possible to do 1,200 on every employee that currently has health insurance? 7,000?
that's possible.
I mean,
Yes.
we're gonna lose that money anyway. At the end of the year, why not just
well,
spend it?
we're not losing. We're not losing.
If they don't spend it, we lose it?
It's
No,
it's
back into your money, it goes back to the bank.
Oh, I guess.
on flexible savings account, spending account. Mhm.
And this is just for 1 year. We don't know what, we don't know
Yeah, so I
what
was
the
just saying
picture
make it
looks like for next year.
I'm in on what, I mean, I was very fast, obviously, for the kids, but great being election year, right? Let's do it. Christmas is right around the corner.
So yes, the recommendation is Salazar Insurance Group with all those policies I mentioned. They'll be able to cover all of them, and the flexible savings account and the
I recommend
amount, $1,000.
This is for 1
Recommendation
year,
from the community.
Yes, sir.
the one-time HSA.
Just out of,
We would, hopefully, we do it next year.
just out of curiosity, suppose that somebody, you know, needs more money and somebody else is not using it, can they give it to the other employee?
I don't know.
Doesn't, it's a fix. So it's only for your family or the other person's family, but you can't belabor things.
I can't give mine to you.
So does it apply to vision or medical or strictly?
They can even use it for.
Could use it this
over the
weekend.
counter
Yeah.
drugs. So it's a very good program. I appreciate
I think the employees would really appreciate something. Eddie was saying the other day that his wife was at the hospital at the ER, and they needed.
Yeah, she called me and let me know, hey, I'm at the hospital. I had an injury to my eye. I can't see. I'm here at the hospital. I need $300, which is our copay right now for a hospital visit. With this new plan, it would go up to $500. So just think about that situation where somebody is at the hospital. They need to pay their ER copay immediately. They need $500 now. Having a benefit like this flexible spending account would allow them to already have that money there. Okay, it's no worries. We have the card. Just pay it with the flexible
I
spending.
got a question for Mary. Is that a scenario that typically happens? Is that?
Yes, I mean, the scenario that
Mary.
you mentioned. I'm so sorry.
The mask just muffle everything.
I know.
Yeah, I'm just curious if that's, you know, something that comes up frequently.
Mary said she used her husband.
I use my husband and in prior other employers, I had used it and I had the same experience that they had. I had an emergency and then I don't know where, oh my God, I have this part. Here it is. You're ready. You don't have that burden that you had an emergency plus you have to take the doctor to the hospital. So it's gonna be available for everybody. Of course, they can do that. And it has free tax. And also, it will be available. Definitely actually benefit for everyone.
They can use it for dental, right?
They can use it for dental, for vision, for
For drugs.
medication as well.
Well, I think that we just need to keep the receipt and bring it back, and we can, make them do that for.
So that you can, and every employee will be familiar that IRS picture, just to make sure that we're.
Possible after tonight, we'll have 78. 79.
So we're recommending it per employee, not.
And then the leftover. Yes, I just don't want this motion to be married to 77, to be married to
Correct.
employees. that
Per
are
employee.
eligible for this.
Yes.
then it sounds like Mr. Houston made a motion.
Yes.
And I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None, motion carries, thank you.
Great work.
Good job, Mr. Houston.
Nancy would be proud of you for that one.
Let's move along to item 14. Consider and discuss for possible approval repair of VTP-2 vertical stage pump for the water plant department.
Yeah, this is one of the pumps from the river pump station. It's already out. It's cylinder water plant number 2. So we are recommending going with RGB industrial machine for $18,665 for the repair.
Currently, we have 2 pumps operating.
We have
2 out of 3, yeah, I believe so.
Right now, there's 2 pumps, because that one's out, the third one's out. There's 3 pumps at the river station, and with this one being out, there are 2 pumps.
So this will get us up to 3 operating.
Yes, sir. Actually, we can put 4 pumps in there, but there is a vacant spot right now.
Remember that vacant spot?
Second.
Sorry?
I remember that vacant spot. There's some discussion, I think, not.
Well, there's a motion for this.
I'm sorry, I thought,
No,
I
it's
just
fine.
asked.
Can we discuss that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I had brought up, I had asked Mr. Gomez to look into the history of these pumps, you know, because we fixed one last year. And I think we're gonna be fixing one every year. It sounds like, these are very old pumps. And one of the concerns I had was efficiency of these pumps. We can continue fixing them, but I think that we need to start looking towards more new efficient. So
The energy efficiency.
yeah, because I did talk to Roy about it. One of them is not operating at 50%, like 16, 17. So that's that's something we need to start looking at and planning for, is to just replace those.
Our electric bill is pretty.
As a matter of fact, all 3 pumps are at about 70% efficiency right now.
So we need to start budgeting for something like
How
that.
much is a new pump? A single new pump. How much for a new single pump?
How much
Roughly.
125.
How much for a single new pump?
About 125. But that was a quote that was given about 2, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna do a major rehab, 300,000-400,000.
I know we have a.
So we're gonna spend how much? on
18,000.
repair?
18.
18. Okay. I agree, maybe next year we need to go ahead and budget a new pump.
Yeah.
Just to have ready, the first one that goes down, we switch out or something.
We had been talking about that. Coming back next year with a new budget.
Can we, look into cost of a new pump and efficiency of a new pump? You know, from an, energy standpoint, like is there more efficient pumps out there, newer generation pumps that could save us some electricity too?
Electricity as well.
Essentially every time. Like what I'd like to see is what it costs. Is there any efficiency that would save us some money? And then what's the projected lifespan of said pump? You know, if we expect it to live for 20 years, save X amount a year, cost this much up front, maybe we can justify that expense.
These pumps are currently between 20 and 30 years old.
Yeah, and there's also maybe check valves or the way the valves are set up, so we're not throwing water back into the river. We have to be careful with that. But that's part of what we'll have to look at in the other.
So the new one's gotta be more energy.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What if we lose power at the pump house? Do we have the ability to bring in any type of generator or anything?
We lost power before, and things take about like 6 hours, 8 hours. It hasn't happened, and we have to wait more than 1 week.
How many days would it take for us to run out of water in all our lagoons?
More than 30 days.
Motion made by Mr. Houston, second by Dr. Lamont. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carried, thank you. Let's move along to item 15, consider and review expenditures from August 1st, 2020 to August 15th, 2020. Motion made to acknowledge by Mr. Houston,
Second.
Second acknowledgement by Mr. Avalos, of all acknowledged.
Acknowledge.
Yes, thank you. Let's move on to item 16. Consider and remove from the table the following executive session item under section 551074, personnel matters tabled at the regular meeting on June 24, 2020. Deliberation regarding the evaluation of district employee to wit general manager. Need a motion to go into executive session at 6:06 p.m. Motion made by Dr. Lalonde, seconded by Mr. Starkey. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
They are. We're in executive session. Do we need a recess or proceed as? We're going to continue along with this meeting in executive session. Need a motion to come out of executive session at 6:40 p.m.
So moved.
Motion made by Dr. Lalonde, seconded by Mr. Starkey. Are all those in favor? They are. Need a motion to accept the evaluation as reviewed by the board of directors. Motion made by Mr. Starkey, seconded by Dr. Lalonde. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
They are. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned at 6:41 p.m.